Outer Banks, and welcome to a new episode of OBXE TV, where we give you the inside scoop on what's happening in the local and regional entertainment world. I'm Sue Artz. First up, I'm going to tell you about some of the top stories trending right now at OBXentertainment.com. The Outer Banks got some more national recognition when CNN recently named Jockey's Ridge State Park in Nags Head as North Carolina's top natural landmark in a new list featuring one of nature's wonders from each of America's 50 states. The official music video for American Idol winner and North Carolina native Scotty McCreery's new single Feelin' It was filmed entirely on the Outer Banks, featuring some recognizable local landmarks like the Body Island Lighthouse and Jeanette's Pier. You can watch the video online at OBXentertainment.com. In NC Film News, a new horror movie starring Kate Beckinsale is scheduled to begin filming in nearby Greensboro, North Carolina in late August, from the director of Disturbia and Eagle Eye and the writer of The Very Creepy Stoker. You can get full details on each of these stories, plus our photo galleries and video highlights from the 2014 Brew Through Summer Concert Series right now at OBXentertainment.com. The Lost Colony is America's first unsolved mystery, the original urban legend, and, as immortalized in Paul Green's classic play, is also the longest-running outdoor symphonic drama in the country. Today, our special guests are both principal cast members in this year's 77th annual production of The Lost Colony. We're very excited to welcome Payne, Hopton-Jones, and Daniel Gonzalez. Hey guys, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So, how did you both get involved with The Lost Colony?
I go to ECU. I'm a musical theater student at ECU, and there's an audition process called IODs, the Institute of Outdoor Drama, and outdoor dramas from all over the country come over here and audition students to go and do the outdoor dramas, and Lost Colony happened to be one of them. I auditioned, and they called me actually to, they were interested in putting me for the part of Simon Fernando. Mm-hmm. Because I do, Spanish is my first language.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so they assumed, so that's fine. And then they called me back and they said, we're giving the part to somebody else, but we want to give you an AT contract. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm totally fine with taking an AT contract. And then they called me back again, and they said, hey, you want to be Anna Nice there? I was like, okay, is that like a normal part? And I had no idea that it was a big part in the production. Yeah. So it was a really nice surprise.
Cool, yeah. Very cool. How about you?
For me, I graduated from Auburn University in 2010, and that spring, right before I graduated, I went to a conference called SETC, which is Southeastern Theater Conference. It's a little bit bigger than IODs, I believe. I've never been to IODs. But, you go and there's like 80 companies there, and you do an initial audition, and, you hope to get callbacks from as many companies as possible.
Right.
Lost Colony called me back, among some others. And it was a fun callback, and they offered me an AT contract. So I started off in 2010 as an AT. I played Second Soldier and Fallen Sentinel. So a lot of quick changes with a lot of heavy armor and stuff like that. Oh, but it was fun, got my feet wet in Lost Colony, and I slowly worked my way up since then.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
This is the longest running outdoor drama in America, but were you guys familiar at all with the play and the historical story of the Lost Colony before you joined?
I'm from Miami.
Okay.
So we don't learn a lot of, we didn't learn a lot of North Carolina history, and this is a big part of North Carolina history. Not so much the country.
Right.
So I learned about Plymouth while everybody else learned about Manio, Roanoke Island, and Jamestown. But yeah, I did not know anything coming into this, so it was a great experience to learn a lot of new things.
It's funny because for me, I did learn about. I remember there's just this one. I don't know if we talked about it more than once, like throughout school or whatever, but I remember one time hearing about the Lost Colony and the tree and the carving of the CRO on the tree and everything
like the basic overview of the...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was one of the more interesting topics that we covered in school. For me, I was like, oh, wait, what happened? You know,
Right.
like it really was like this big mystery because like we still don't know today.
Right.
You know, there's a lot going into that right now, a lot of excavation happening at the moment, but, you know, still a big mystery. And so that's what I remember from school and, like, about this place. So, you know, like I said a second ago, this was my first professional job. And so it was kind of cool to have, like, this one thing that I was, like, that really grabbed my attention back in school, sort of come to fruition here as employment.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
cool.
as far as the show goes, I had no clue about it. In college, when I started really working on theater, some people that had left college before me went to Lost Colony, but that's as much as I do.
Wow.
I don't know anything
Same
about the
thing.
show.
Yeah, I know it kind of has like a funny vibe over there, and like I know it's hard to get like a cell signal, and
Yeah, yeah, it is.
so is there,
Very much so.
have you
Very
ever noticed
spotty
anything like a
service.
strange feeling like?
Oh, we could talk about
We could
this
talk
for
about
days.
there's a lot of things that go on.
I mean, it's such a sacred ground,
Right.
you know, it really is, and like we're doing this show, you know, pretty much on like
the graves of the
on like a
people.
graveyard, really, and so there's a lot of ghost stories.
I'll bet.
Especially we live in Morrison Grove apartments,
Uh-huh.
and right there in Manio, like you can walk to the theater.
Right.
So there's so many because it's like tucked away in the woods and everything.
Yeah.
It's like a summer camp cabin, and you know there's so many stories of people seeing people down the hallway, or like furniture will be moved, or doors will just slam, or like you'll hear footsteps run down the hall, and it's like
Beds will shake. And
like
it's
no
like,
one's there, no
whoa.
one else there. Like what just happened? But yeah, it's spirit filled.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. We actually have a friend who works with paranormal stuff, and I've asked her, I'm like, so maybe you come down here and we'll go over to the Lost Colony. So
Yeah.
we'll have to do like a part 2 kind of episode.
That's cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So you said that this is both of your first professional
Yes.
jobs?
Yes.
Yeah, it was in 2010. I've done other things
Okay.
since then, and I just recently moved to New York to
Oh, cool.
Pursue the
go
dream.
at it. Yeah.
Nice. So you just stay here for the summer?
Yeah, just come down for the summer, and then I'm from Alabama, and so until I moved to New York this past December, I would go back to Alabama, regroup, go find another job, and that was sort of my hub.
Yeah.
But now I guess I'm calling New York home, so
Well, it's definitely different up there. That's,
it's so much different.
yep, that's my home state, so
Okay.
I know it's like crazy in the city too. It's
Yeah.
Yep, so you never know because a lot of big name actors actually started in the Lost Colony, like
True.
Andy Griffith.
Andy
and all
Griffith,
that, so
Terrence Mann.
I'll
Yeah.
have to get your autographs before you go. So, can you tell us a little bit about the characters that you're playing this year?
My character, the way the director portrays it is, he belongs in the court, kind of with the queen, and he is, he's basically thrown to the wolves out in the colony. He, if we're getting historically accurate, Ananias was actually a bricklayer. But in the show, he's portrayed as more of a royal person of the royal court and part of John White's kind of group of people. And he's given to Eleanor, and he's not equipped for the new world in any way. He is very doesn't know how to lead people, so he's basically going in blind.
Yeah.
And like the opening scene of the second act, he goes in there, and everything that could go wrong did go wrong. The whole place is disheveled. the one of the Indians leaves. One of the chief Indians that he thought was going to help him left. He has to fight with Simon Fernando, the pilot that got them there. It's like everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and now he has to deal with all of it. And his wife is pregnant, so his character has a hard time.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
Nice. How about you?
As far as my character goes,
Easy living.
so in history, on the manifest of who was on the ship, that came over, so it was 117 men, women, and children that came over on this third expedition, I think.
Third.
And John Borden was just a name on the manifest. Apparently, he was a 12-year-old boy.
Wow.
So it's an acting challenge. So that's like historically who John Borden is. We don't know, some kid. Yeah, but in the show, and for the purposes of telling a more interesting story, yes, he is the he's the like childhood love interest of Eleanor Dare, or Eleanor White, we'll say at this point. And because the White family and the Dare family both have money, it's a perfect union. It's a good union for everyone involved, really, except for the whole love aspect. So Eleanor, for the story, Eleanor's just not in it. She is just in love with John Borden. It's played by myself. So really, John Borden is sort of he's a farmhand in the show, and
rises to glory.
Worked for Eleanor's father, John White, and from there just sort of was given more and more responsibility. And when they went to the New World, he was, he became a soldier, really. And then
underneath me.
Yes.
Right, beneath Ananias. And from there, though, his lack of leadership, I guess.
Yeah, there's a moment in the show that shows the lack of leadership, because my famous line, there are arguments on both sides, sir. Because I can't make a decision on whether we go to the Chesapeake or we stay here, and Governor White asks him right after that, and he has a great answer full of intelligence and wit.
So John Borden basically asserts himself as a leader of the colony at this point, and then eventually he gets promoted to captain as well. And I don't know if I should do a spoiler or not.
I mean, come see The Lost Colony.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll know.
So something happens. John Borden has to step up. And then there's this whole love triangle with Eleanor and Ananias that is sort of put into the show to make it more interesting, give it more of an interesting plot, I guess,
and make it have more depth, because the show is the show is just the history, and it needed to have that interesting part for there to be keep people interested.
It's sort of the the commercialized aspect of it. Like, we got to put in a love story.
Exactly.
So and it's fun. I think everyone enjoys it, and we get half of the play is in the New World where we don't necessarily know what happened. So it's like, you can take some
liberties,
artistic license, and
it's all Paul Green's interpretation. It's just what he thought that happened to the colonists. So it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the actress who plays Eleanor, you mentioned, is actually your girlfriend in
Yes,
real
that's
life.
correct.
So
Yeah.
you probably have like good chemistry going on.
Yeah, and
they do.
Well, that's one of the things that we've actually heard, feedback from audience members that have come through. We do autographs after the show, and people come through and we'll talk. And one of the coolest compliments we've gotten is, "Oh, you guys, the chemistry between you two is so great. Like, are you guys dating in real life?" And I'm like, yes.
Yes.
But it's funny because last year I played Ananias, and she played Eleanor for the first time. And that's where we met, and it's funny because usually the John Borden and the Eleanor Dare are sort of match up in real life, in the real world or whatever, and they'll have at least a summer romance. So it was interesting to have Ananias take the reins last year, and then this year, I changed roles. And we stayed together.
Yep.
Nice. So do you guys think that you'll come back next year? And
I want to, for sure. For me, it's like, I miss this place in the off season, and you get paid to come live at the beach and do an epic story. Like you get to put on this epic tale every night, and it's tough. It gets hot, but you get to the final march of the show, and it's just like, there are tears and sweat, even though it's snowing.
yeah.
But it's so fun, and I've made so many lifelong friends and relationships, and it's just it is home. Like we have this thing, we say welcome home.
Nice.
And because it literally does, when you bleed, sweat, and cry together, it becomes this foundation for you. So really cool place to start your career for sure.
Nice.
I want to come back all the time. So.
Cool.
Yeah, I would definitely come back because I'm a rising junior in college, and
He's a young buck.
I am a young buck, and I have so much time to worry about what's happening after college.
Yeah.
And this experience is so unique, and so it's like coming to a new world, going to the Lost Colony because it's
How appropriate.
Am I right? It's just like I've never experienced the amount of importance family is within the cast, and how much people care about a show.
Yeah.
And it's such an awesome experience to feel the passion in the air, just in the air whenever you're in this area with these people.
Yeah.
As you can see.
I'm sure that's why it's been the longest running outdoor drama in America.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I know you said that this was your first professional job and you've done some other stuff since then. So how is the Lost Colony like different than other places that you've worked, stage productions?
Well, for me, this is the only outdoor show I've done, and so that brings with it so many differences by itself. I mean, dealing with the weather, inclement weather is a thing. And even if it's not raining by showtime, if it rained during the day, a lot of people get scared, don't want to come, everything's gonna be wet, mosquitoes, all that stuff. And what's crazy is that it's outdoors, it's a pageant play. It almost feels old-timey. But the production designer is William Ivy Long. He's won like 6 Tonys or something.
Wow.
14 nominations.
14 nominations.
Pretty ridiculous.
So it's like, the costumes that we put on and go sweat in and like do all these things in that we, maybe we'll complain about them at times when we're hot.
A lot.
But at the end of the day, it's like we just wore a Tony winning.
Yeah.
My costume was more than my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of them are so expensive. Most of them.
A lot of them are so expensive.
It's crazy. And then, other shows that I've done a lot of children's theater, touring shows and stuff like that. And it's a completely different sort of beast. It's a different beast.
Yes.
Here it's family. And there's an emphasis on the kids, but a lot of the story is of a mature nature, history. It can be a little wordy at times. There's a lot of dialects. Children's show, it's simplified in ways.
Right.
And in touring, I do a lot of elementary schools and a lot of theaters around the country. And it's just a different thing. It's a smaller production, 5 actors in a van with, set, props, costumes, sound equipment, luggage, all in this one van. And we would just go hit the country, hit the road. So it's different. There are pluses and there are pros and cons to both. So it's hard to compare because they are so different, but at the end of the day, you're just telling a story. So it's like, there's always that in common. And the people, and you always have people that aren't into it, but you always have people that are. And, doing the Lost Colony, I feel like a rock star at the end of the show. Because people come through, they're like, oh my gosh, can I get my picture with you? And you're like, yes, come on. So it's the same thing with like kids shows. When we would go to an elementary school, kids, we would do like a Q&A and everybody would be like, so interested and want to know more and like come talk to you. And then you'd have the kids that would try to be cool in front of their friends, but this is okay, man.
Yeah, whatever, of course.
But
Those are the best kids.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, are there like any backstage secrets at the Lost Colony you could tell us about?
Backstage secrets.
Well, secrets.
Secrets. Well, we do the show roughly 70 times.
Wow.
Throughout the summer, and it's just over 2 hours. It's about a 2-hour show, and it's an undertaking.
Yeah.
So it can wear on you, and you want to keep it fresh, and stay in the moment and keep it exciting because who wants to watch 80 people out on a stage just sort of going through the motions, right? And you can fall into that sometimes. as a good actor, you don't. But you can.
I don't. Payne does.
That's not. But yeah. So there'll be games throughout the show where in the world of the play, so everything fits, but like ad libs and stuff like that, that's where the fun comes in, because maybe you're not a principal character, you don't have a lot of lines. Those are your moments to like feel like you're contributing something or adding something to the show. Like Governor White poses a question to all the soldiers, or at least all the soldiers, right?
Yeah.
And it was like gets a chance to throw in their 2 cents, and sometimes they'll be normal colonists with guns. Other times maybe they're Smurfs or cats.
We're scared.
Yep, it's just without taking away from the show, you can have some fun and give something to change your feeling that night just a little bit, enough to keep it interesting, keep you wanting to go, and keep you engaged. Mm-hmm. Because it is a history tale. It can be hard to keep the excitement going.
Right.
And so that's something that we try to do, and little things between characters and stuff. And when I say characters, I actually really mean just between the actors. It can be fun to just explore that and have new moments and like different looks, and but at the same time, it's just natural growth of the show too. It's not like we're gonna go change the show tonight, because that's unfair to everybody else.
Right.
So you don't want to do that.
Yeah. So you're allowed to do like little things to.
Yeah, and it's not like.
It's
not the stuff
when it happens. When the things happen, it's just little things that are happening when a big moment is happening. Let's say I don't know. One of my favorite moments in the show is when we're leaving on the boat, and me and Abby are standing at the top. And
Abby plays Eleanor.
Abby is Eleanor, and we're leaving, and it's a whole big song happening, and Payne is coming up the stairs, up the deck with his coat of arms, and he's singing the Sir Walter Raleigh ship. Sir Walter Raleigh ship.
That's not true. Farewell England.
I don't know the song, so it's fine. But farewell England. Oh yes, that's it. And here's, what is the line that you say?
Farewell, and here's a parting hand.
We sing to the heart
and hope to seek an unknown land. To seek an unknown land. Oh, stormy winds may blow, and the raging seas may roar.
Well, whenever he goes up there, he usually makes it up there by and the raging seas may roar. So me and Abby are saying goodbye to the colonists, and Payne comes up, and he usually changes it every night. Sometimes he just does it, but one time he's coming up, he goes, and the raging seas make meow, like that, like he just
usually on roar, I'll just give him something different. Just
roar. He changes
make
it up.
sure he's paying attention.
it's my favorite part of the show. Yep, that's.
I have the luxury of looking towards the sound.
Yes.
So
he has to face the audience.
I have to face the audience while he's doing this.
Nice.
So it's a great time. But yeah, there's a lot of cute moments.
Nice.
And yeah.
It's giving you some practice for like Saturday Night Live someday.
Exactly.
Yes.
Improv.
Perfect. Improv. Let's do it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, so when you're not on stage at the Lost Colony and you have a probably rare day off, how do you guys like to spend it here on the Outer Banks?
By doing interviews.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know I hate the beach. I've lived by the beach my whole life, so it's like
true.
it's not oh, let's go to the beach. So our day off is usually on Sundays, but we usually have the mornings and the afternoons off during the week. But Sundays, you get to go eat. I love eating. Read books, play on the computer, hang out with people.
So you're pretty boring.
I'm pretty boring. Go Payne.
No, that's good. I forgot that you.
I don't like the beach.
You grew up on the beach.
I know.
So,
I don't do the beach.
For me, I grew up in the middle of Alabama. So, yeah, vacation was always go to the beach. So this feels like a giant vacation, really. So Sundays is our day off, and we go to the beach. go see a movie. The Pioneer in Manteo, it's like $5, and you get to see a movie. It's one theater, but usually it's a good movie. There's a movie every week. So.
Cheap snacks, great.
Yeah, and sometimes, in the past, I know, I want to say it was when like Harry Potter came out or something, one of the Harry Potter movies. We all went at midnight on Thursday night to see, over here at the
Kill Level Hills.
Kill Level Hills.
Yeah, the theater.
Whatever.
The RC.
Yeah, RC. Yeah. And so like little things like that, we're like, oh sweet, something to break up the monotony of, go do the show.
Pioneer.
You get out late, go to sleep, go to the show.
That's so true.
But a lot of people this year, which is, normally people will have a second job or whatever, but it'll be like a handful of people. This year, I feel like half the company probably has a second job. So during the day, they're serving at a restaurant or working retail or working at the Elizabethan Gardens as a gardener. All these secondary jobs, and then they go do this huge show. So it's like, I'm not one of those people. Abby is. She works at Avenue Grill in Manteo, Avenue Grill Waterfront.
Go see Eleanor Dare serve you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give her a big tip. But, so they go and do this, and then they go and do this huge show, too, and I would just be exhausted.
I would be dead.
So I think that's impressive. But for me, like Daniel said, just hang out with people. It's our living space is such a communal area. We all just will get together and hang out.
Play cards.
Listen to music and stuff like that, so.
Cool.
It's just, because the show takes a lot out of you.
Everybody just wants to hang out.
We just want to chill. So, just sitting around, listening to music, talking with friends, stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah, very laid back.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming over here
Thanks for having us. This is fun.
And we'll try to make our way out to see the Lost Colony again this year. And it's awesome to know that it changes every year a little bit.
Yeah, and even with the same director, it's a different show. And we've also cut things this year to make it a little shorter, so you can get out and get home even faster. So.
Cool. Yeah. Very cool. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks again to Daniel and Payne for being on our show. You can see them on stage in the Lost Colony this summer through August 22nd. Thank you for joining us. I'm Sue Artz with OBXEntertainment.com and OBXE TV, and we'll see you next time.